Hello, welcome back everybody. So let's have a quick look at some of these coins, the usual, and obviously I'm not your financial advisor, it's not financial advice. So let's get started then. So we'll stare at Bitcoin then, let's have a good old stare off. So Bitcoin, we've got these areas up here that we really need to try and break if we really want to try and get above and break out of this downward spiral. I wouldn't call it a downward spiral, to be honest. I'd call it more of a snaking sort of bear trend. It's basically moving sideways, but it's clearly, when you look at it like this, it is clearly looking to sort of move downwards rather than making higher highs. We've got a lower high, a lower high, a lower high on the kind of higher time frames. We've got a low, then we've got a lower low, and then actually we snaked above and haven't yet peaked at this level here. Now what I would say is we've got one, and then we've got two, one, two, one. I would say that really we're looking to make another two, which would create a lower low. It is moving sideways, so I can't really say this is definitely going to happen, but the way that the trend is formed to me on the sort of longer time frames would suggest that we are going to get at some point a new lower low, even if it's ever so slightly lower than that one. I think that that's what's wanting to happen, to be honest with you. Now, I think that's on the cards. Now at the moment it looks like today we're going to try and test some more movement to the up. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if we break the resistance level of 10,250, and if we do that, then we've got quite a lot of resistances here in the form of these moving averages here. We've got one here which would be at around 10,400. Then we're more or less coming up to test this big one here, which is the it starts at 10,600 to 10,800. That's a big one we really need to try and break. It's going to be harder though to break that, because we've got these moving averages here. We've got the 200 simple and 200 exponential. They're probably going to become resistances as well, and because that 200 EMA is actually at the bottom part of this 10,600, I would expect to see a rejection at that point if we tried to get up that far today, and we may do, to be honest with you. Looking at the 4 hourly, it looks like we want to try and move up today, so that might be what's likely to happen. Probably move up to there to find a rejection. Now in the event that we don't get rejected from there, then easily could get up to the top of this box and beyond, and then we're really looking to try and get up to the 11,000 area. We didn't get quite close to that before. We were rejected before we got on the blue box, so a lot of chances of rejection on this move up that we're probably going to try and do today. And then as a result of those rejections, we're going to see how far we fall. If we get rejected at this point, then we're probably going to come down further than we did when we moved up to there. And again, like, I would probably say my bias is to the downside ever so slightly, moving our way down to the end point, which is going to be around 9,200 to 9,000. But you know, it's sideways action, so these moves could take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight, or it might not happen straight away. We might not be seeing big sell-offs like we have seen on these occasions. We might just be seeing snaking trickling down to then start to touch areas, and only when we break something like this will we see a big sell-off. Anyway, we'll leave that one there. We'll move on to Matic. So Matic was doing okay, and where we actually pretty much hit our target, but a little bit. We were wanting something better than this to happen, but it was still pretty good. It was a pretty nice little setup. So I just draw it in here. So we had upwards trend that we were sort of bouncing around on. Not quite got it right there, but we had this upwards trend that we were sticking to, and it was squashing us up into these resistance boxes, which we broke. And obviously the rest of the market did do very well yesterday, so generally speaking, alts are sort of making a little move up. Matic, I wanted to see it break above the top of this blue box territory and then go crazy. And when I say go crazy, I'm talking, you know, if we can get above 175 stats, which we were sats, not stats, sats, then when we were getting quite close to that, then we had a chance of moving up to 200 and beyond. So that's still on the cards. That could still happen, but at the moment it's not moving too fast. It's kind of slowed down ever so slightly, but there's still movement going on in the alts at the moment. and we could still be looking at sort of bigger moves. Now, when we look at the tether value, we can see that we're sort of still snaking around on that upwards trend. Now, the volume has increased. It's almost, well, I'd say it increased by about a third at this point yesterday, which is okay. But really, when we're looking at the volume from sort of these sort of areas, or even these areas, or even this one, I mean, it's still not very big at all. We would want to see a bit more volume. We're looking at the indicators now, suggesting essentially, basically, a little bit of snaking sideways action. What we really don't want to see is a retest of these lower areas here, which would be 1.45 cent, and especially not 1.35 cent. But it's doing okay, and I've got a Telegram group, and we sort of talk about Matic a lot. And one thing that I say about it is that this was a FOMO move off the back of an announcement. Okay, so that's all it was. And a lot of the time when you get a move like that, you come back down to square one. But on this occasion, we haven't. It actually gave us a little bit of a boost, and it picked up actually from there. So actually, that move was a definite pump and dump area, but it's actually stayed sort of. It's not retraced by 100% at all. It's retraced by, well, at the moment, well, I mean, at its height, it retraced by about 75% of that FOMO move, but it's actually bouncing from there, and now we're about 35% down from our most recent high of that 2 cent area. So it's not actually looking pretty good actually. So. For some reason Bitcoin's there again. Now, one thing I can't really do technical analysis on, but something that I'm relatively interested in at the moment is this guy here, COCOS. It's completely crumbled since it came onto Binance, right? It's not an IEO, it's not an ICO, it just came onto Binance and had a huge dump, okay, massive dump. I wanted to see it get lower than around 15 sats, but watching it a little bit yesterday, it doesn't look like it wants to go that low, and it actually wants to perhaps maybe think that it's bottomed out around this area here, which is 0.00185. Now, this is a real risky business trading on this one, because nobody knows exactly where this bottom's going to be. But to me, I thought I'd put a little bit in and see where we go from here. So I picked some up at around about this level here. When I saw this slight consolidation down on the second time here, so I am up at the moment, but this whole thing could completely crumble underneath me. So I picked it up around 19 sats. At the moment, it's gone up to a little peak of 21 sats, ever so slightly there, which is reassuring. But yeah, 18 sats has been tested quite a few times and found support on that area now. This is an hourly chart, so we'll just have a look to see how many hours this is consisted of overall when it got down to that level. 4, 8, 12, 16. So pretty much a day's worth now at that level, which is nothing really, but it's actually a bit reassuring that it's not gone any further down than that. So I would suggest you do your own research on things and don't just go buying things on the back of someone like me. I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice, but I thought I'd take a little risk on this one, as I believe it probably would have quite a recovery ahead of it. That doesn't mean it's going to recover instantly or anytime soon, but I thought that this might be a nice little sort of risk to see where we go from here. So wish me luck with that one, and I hope you all have a nice day. Take it easy, and thanks for watching. See you later.